Good evening, good morning, and welcome to Siddha Vetha webinar series. Today, very interesting topic on ancient theories of space and time. So, you would have listened to different speakers in the past about space and time. So, this is an interesting speaker, Dr. Ashok Kumar Vaikundam. In short, he has a big uh, profile, but I want to go very short. Dr. Kumar is a professor of practice at NIT Mizoram, set to commence in January 2024, bringing a wealth of experience from the filtration industry, where he served as the vice president of R&D, I think, with a robust academic background, including a PhD from the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany, which everybody should be knowing is a very famous institute, and a notable tenure as a scientist there. Is going to present this right now with this all this experience in the scientific field as a scientist. So I look forward for your talk, sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. Shant, for giving me this opportunity to interact with your allied group in this. I'm really honored to talk on this subject in this platform, which is completely. It's going to be an esoteric, but it's going to be I hope it will be a very interesting topic. And I hope it is very clear. And I will share the screen. Okay.
Sure. You may share the screen, and also we'll allow for interactive sessions. So we can
Yes.
ask questions after your
So
talk.
are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So let us start with invocation. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Puranam Udyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Yavasisyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hello friends, once again I'm very thankful to give an opportunity to present something which is heart of my subjects, which I started analyzing this, I think when I was studying ninth standard, somewhere in 1980, somewhere in 1979-80. The meaning of this, whatever I have now, the invocation which I have done, is it coming from Brihadaranya Upanishad and also as a invocation of prayer in Isha Upanishad. It says that Om, that Brahman is infinite. Brahman means full. And you can say full in how, when you write a full, the beauty of that, when you write a full by the index finger, you write like a circle. So when you see the circle, when you write like a circle, then it becomes a zero. So zero is also in infinite according to the Vedic literature. So the Brahman is infinite, this universe is infinite, and it beautifully says that infinite, proceed from that infinite, then taking the infinitude of this infinite, this universe, it remains as an infinite full Brahman alone. Brahman is always pronounced as Brahman. So Brahman and Brahman are same. So Om, peace, peace, peace. So let us go into the subject, because if I start explaining this Isha Upanishad of one of this Isha Upanishad or Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it will go on and on and on for at least for 1 hour for only this sutra. Yeah. This sutra alone has a lot of meaning, and now there are a lot of theories which is being attached to the artificial intelligence with this particular thing for the machine learning. There we are finding this one is very, very useful to make the machine to learn with this kind of a concept. But I'm not going to do this today because I'm going to talk today about the infinite, what is called as space and time. So my agenda of the meeting will be I will introduce what is space and time. There are different ancient philosophies which has come out from our mankind to understand what space and time. But I'm not going to talk about the other philosophy. I am going to talk only about the ancient Indian philosophy. I'm not going to interpret, please, again, I'm telling you, I'm not going to interpret what is with today's today's theory or something like that. I'm going to say what is it? What it has really, what is the meaning of it? That's it. So in ancient Indian philosophy, if you see, there are different schools. The chief schools are Vedic cosmology, Nyaya Vaishika school, there is a Samkhya school, there is a Mimamsa school, there is a Advaitic Vedanta. Now, when I say Vedanta, Veda Anta, Anta means it comes as a last. So Advait Vedanta always comes as a last, usually, because it interpret all the Vedas, whatever the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, and Sama, all the four Vedas, and then it interprets the ending anecdotes. That is called Advaitic Vedanta, and that is of subjects of its own. Apart from them, there is a Jain, there is a Buddhism, but I am going today only with Vedic cosmology, which is being written, which is being taught, and which is being followed and practiced by the Vedic practitioners. And four, I will summarize all those things in today's lecture. And I'm expecting some questions from you. If you are not having a time today to give a questions, you are free to give ask questions and give feedback to my WhatsApp or whatever you can say my email. So let's go through the introduction of space-time. Even though the relativity Einstein found about the space-time, it was the mathematician Minkowski in 1908. Even though 1905 is the relativity, the real space-time definition came in by Minkowski in 1908, and he gave a mathematical model. This was a turning point in the space-time, even for to make this general theory of relativity into the space-time and how it is being explained. So he fuses the three-dimensional space and time in one dimension. That is mingled. That means space and time is one and each other. But how they have done it in our modern scientific literature is that they form existence of the all object and process, of course, that have never existed or will exist in the infinite universe. So it is like a fabric. If you see that this is like the fabric of space and time, which you can visualize in three dimension and with time. So this is the photographs. I put it in the on the front page. The reason is that this is the space and time which we talk about. It's a thread-like structure, like a woven cloth, and you cannot separate it out. And it changes over the time. When I say changes over the space with time, it's like a fabric in the universes and means like a oscillating, fabrics in the universe. The interconnected nature of space-time allows us, like time dilation in the theory of relativity, where time can appear to pass different in different frames of references. And it can show a different kind of a mathematical behavior at a different space and different kind of a frames of references. And if you just extend it and it completely a kind of a different, it's a kind of a relative motion in the gravitational field. And that is where the general theory of the space and time was formed. So, how about the basic cosmology treats that? Now, the Vedas, which is one of the the great potential Indian scriptures, They have a cosmological idea of what you call as creation, sustenance, and destruction. Yeah, that's what Trimurti we call as Brahma, the creation, the sustenance, the preservation by Vishnu, and destruction by Shiva. Now, you don't take the meaning, the exact meaning of destruction. It goes through these phases. So, these Trimurti, where the time, which is often conceptual as a cyclic phenomena. And today's topic is going about to be about that space and time, which is a cyclical. And what they do is that they divide into four yuga: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. This is what the Vedic cosmology is all about. There is also Buddhist and Jain's perspective. In fact, in Buddhism and Jainism also time is considered to be cyclic. But in Buddhism, the concept of kalpa, which represents some vast unit of time, and they also represent as a tradition to discuss the impermanence of this material world. That is what they call in Buddhism, and that is what the nirvana they talk more about that. But to put it in a mathematical sense, what the Vedic cosmology, our Vedic ancient masters have done, it is phenomenal. And today we are going to see this. There is also ancient Chinese philosophy, which I am not going to talk about. There is also ancient Egyptian cosmology, which is also I'm not going to talk about. The reason is that this itself is a huge topic. The Vedic cosmology, it's a huge topic. It will go for days and months, and even for 2 to 3 semesters, 4 semesters of coursework. So Yin and Taoism, which a Chinese philosophy follows, which emphasize the interplays of opposite, yin and yang. And they say that there is a cyclic nature. But they don't explicitly talk about the space and time. But there is a cyclic nature which is happening there. There is an ancient Egyptian cosmology which is called Maat and Isfet. So Egyptian, they centered around the river Nile. So their framework is okay. Nile has some kind of a framework which sometimes floods, sometimes a drought. So it has a cyclic hypothesis, and they attach to Mart and Isfat hypothesis. As I told, I am going to touch only on Vedic cosmology because that is itself a huge. What is Vedic cosmology? Vedic cosmology refers to the some kind of a cosmological ideas with consciences they found out in that concept from the scriptures known as Vedas. I'm not talking about Vedantic philosophy again. Vedantic is antik, that is the end piece. I'm talking about the Vedas because antik is going to be interpretation. That itself is another subject of interest. So Vedanta is another subject of interest. What is written in Vedas is another point of interest which we have to analyze. So what it talks about, it encompasses in understanding the what is universe, what may be its origin, and what is the cyclic nature which is depicted. So that I'm going to talk about it. So I will go into the topic of creation, sustenance, and destruction. And as I told, this is going to be cyclical into different yuga. Now, Satya Yuga is called by some other name, which we will not worry about it because some of the Veda philosophers call it different name. And under Veda's philosopher, there are different schools. Remember that. Each school has their own calendar and world, space, and time. But whatever it is written in the Rig Veda, today I am going to present about that. Yeah. So we will talk about Satya Yuga, we talk about Trita Yuga, we talk about Dwapara Yuga, and we talk about Kali Yuga. Now, where is the space here, you will ask? As I said again, space and times are intertwined. So when you look at a space, when you see a star, something like that, and when scientists say, oh, this star is 1 million light year. So again, he says the distance he converted into year, that is time. You see that here. This was first started by Vedanta, because from the Vedic interpretation, it was started by, first interpretation was started in Vedanta about the light year. So when you say light year, it's time, but you are measuring the space. So when I say all those yugas in time, that means also included in the space. So that you have to keep in mind. A beauty of ancient philosophy is that, ancient Vedic philosophy is that this Chatur Yuga, what they called as Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga, they call, simultaneously. So some of the philosophers call as Krita Yuga, some call as Satya Yuga. Okay, we don't have to problem. But the total divine years is 12,000, which is roughly equal to 4 lakh, I mean, say 43 lakh 20,000, something like 4.3 million, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4.3 million solar years. Okay. So this they kept it constant. Okay. And they divide the 4 in such a way that it should be 4 is to 3 is to 2 is to 1. This each yuga will be 4 is to 3 is to 2 is to 1. Suppose Krita Yuga, that is Satya Yuga, is 4,800. So reduce 25%, that will be 25, that is 3,600. Reduce another 25, you get 2,400, and reduce. So 4 is to 3 is to 2 is to 1. They follow very strictly in describing the yuga. Now, now you have Sandhya. This is what is called as dawn, followed by the dusk, which are called Sandhyamsa. And they divide this into this, where this each twilight, which is dawn dusk, they divide into 1/10 of the main period. If it is 4,800, they divide it into 1/10 of this main period in Sandhya and Sandhyamsa. So please note that these lengths are given in divine years, that is years of God, which we'll talk about, very shortly. Each lasting for 360 solar human years. So this is what the calendar, Hindu calendar, is all about. Hindu, what is called as time cosmology. Hindu time cosmology is derived from Vedic cosmology, and the interpretation goes into the Veda Anta, which is called Vedanta. Now, when I say it is cyclic, you have to understand what is that. Here it is Satya, I have written, it is nothing but Kritya. You see the Satya, it starts, goes around, it's descending stage. We are now in the descending stage. It started off with 12676 BC and it has ended already. It has gone to, like what I told, it is 2700 years. Transitional period which is called dawn and dusk, Sandhya and Sandhyamsa. And in between, we have Trita Yuga, and the next one is Dwapara Yuga, transitional period, Kali Yuga, transitional period, which you see that the descending Kali Yuga and then there is an ascending Kali Yuga. Okay. Now, if you see that the descending Kali Yuga, when it started, transitional period, ascending Kali Yuga, and then it will end in another 2,700 years, and then there is a transitional period, then there is an ascending. So it goes from the descending and goes to the ascending. Then it goes to the cycles. So these 4 yugas goes in a cycle with the ascending and descending. Ascending and descending, which is, I have written for only one here. You go for another descending. So it goes on and on for the cycle. So how many cycles now? That's a beauty. So there are 71 yuga cycle in Manvantara. Actually, this is in mythology, it is written, they say that Manvantara is a period ruled by Manu, who is a progenitor of mankind or something like that. So you know what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 306 million years is one Manvantara. But when we see a Kalpa, it is 1,000 yuga cycles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4,320 million years. You can convert it into billion years. That's not a big issue. But is a kalpa. Remember, this one kalpa is a period that is a day for a, that is a 12-hour proper for a Brahma. Okay. So sometimes this is referred as a Brahma calendar. So this is a day of a Brahma who is the creator of the planet and first living entities. If you have one Manvantara, this much. If you have a 14 Manvantara in a Kalpa, with a remainder of this much year assigned to 15 Sandhyas, that is a juncture, each is a length of a Satya Yuga, which is this. So you can find out that mathematical equivalence of Manvantara Kalpa, which is nothing but 12-hour period of Brahma. So you may think that this 12-hour Brahma is not yet over. That's the beauty of it. When I come back to the last part of the lecture, which is a Vedanta, how they interpret everything and then they do it. Remember, a kalpa is followed by a pralaya. Pralaya is a destruction, but you should always say that why I am not saying destruction is the word is that it is a night or the partial dissolution, which they call in Vedas, which has equal length of forming a 24-hour day, and a Mahakalpa lasts for 100, that means 100, 360 years of Brahma. Yeah. That means what? Which lasts for so many yuga cycles. That means it is around 311.04 trillion years it lasts. And that is the partial, okay? That's a partial dissolution. And it will be followed by Mahapralaya, which is full dissolution of the equal length. You see now, it is mind-boggling. This kind of a, they have completely derived on just observing or meditating, and they observed cosmos within themselves, and they have divided. And whether whatever the schools, then schools there will be a decimal difference in each school. In Bhagavad Purana, there is a slight difference will be there. But the scales will be almost same. That's the beauty of it. Each philosophical school has come up with some kind of a scale in ancient literature of space and time, but still they follow this kind of a scale universally, and that is the beauty of Vedic cosmology. One thing which I should be telling very clearly, because I talked about the scale of the time in trillion years. Trillion years compared to us, okay? By the way, for Brahma it is nothing. Okay. For Pralaya it is nothing. For Kalpa it is nothing. But one should also keep in mind they have gone deep into the time, which is a subdivision of a day, subdivision of an hour, subdivision of a minute, subdivision of a second, subdivision of a microseconds. That's the beauty of it. There are some base unit like Triti, Renu, Lava, Lishak, Lipta, Vipala, Prana, Pala, Vigati, Gati, Nadi, Danta, Muhurta, Nakshatra, Hotra. So you see the sidereal day has been defined subdivision. Subdivision of time. Subdivision of space in time, like Paramanu, Anu. You know this, atom and everything. But you see that here, they have put it in the value. If you see it in SI units, they will put it in the time. So they never differentiate between the space and time. Like Triti, Veda, Lava, Nimisha, Shana, Dikshana, they say that now. Dikshana means we'll say that this Shana. That means, we put it like a tick. But that means that is not 1 second, it is 1.28 seconds. You see the decimal, they have been perfect. They have been very perfect even in decimals. That's the beauty of Vedic cosmology. Okay, we'll go ahead with that. So, natural question asked now. Okay, that means Brahma years is not over. You will think that when there is this kind of a pralaya occurred. Maybe, we are pralaya still occurred. Not even one pralaya occurred. That is not. Some has passed. It has gone through the cycle. We are under the Kali Yuga descending cycle. As I said, if you see the period, yeah, if you see the period of Manvantara, we are in this Manvantara in Chatur Yuga, and in the Kali Yuga we are there, and here we are living. This Kali Yuga lasts for how many years? 432,000 years, and it is the fourth of 4 yugas in a cycle which we found out to now. Yeah. As well as the current Yuga with two Sandhyas, each lasting about 36,000 years. Actually, Kali Yuga started in 3102 BC in the past. Yeah. And some of our, whatever the Mahabharata, Ramayana exist in different yugas. Please remember that yuga has gone. Now Kali Yuga. And which cycle it is, which we'll now talk about it. Yeah. So the current Yuga is, you can find it out. What is the current year? 2024. When did the Kali Yuga start? 3102 BCE. -1 is nothing but Kali Yuga, which is 5125 years it has started already. 5,125 years. So what is the current Chatur Yuga? Chatur Yuga last, which I told us, 4.32 million years again, where the current is 28 of the 71. Yeah, that means 27 has already passed. That's the beauty of it. 28 of the 71 is now the time which is the current Chatur Yuga. You can now find out what is the current Manvantara. That's the beauty of it. The table has been given. So you can find out what is the current Manvantara, current, even I will talk about Kalpa also. That's a very interesting. So the current Manvantara is 306.72 million years, where the current is ruled by Vaivasta Manu. Because in Manvantara also different Manus comes into the picture. It's like not one Brahma. Please remember that. After 100 Brahma, another Brahma will come. Yeah, in Manu also another Manu will come. And today it is ruled by Vivasta Manu, is the 7th of 14. That means elapsed is 28 Chatur Yuga plus 27 Chatur Yugas. So you can do the calculation again with 4.32, which is keeping in mind, and then use the 2024, and you can find out. That means the current Manvantara is 120.53 million years. So you convert each one into the other subdivision. What about the current Kalpa? That's the beauty of it. Because we thought that maybe first Brahma is going now, and the Brahma 1 hour, 12 hour is also not over. A Kalpa, which lasts for 4.32 billion years, which we talked about it, now the current is called Sheta Varaha Kalpe. So, see, this is what, Kalpa, Kalpe, we use it. We, the Vedic philosophers use Kalpe, they use it. Now we will come back to that, okay? His first of 30th in his first month of his 56th year, okay? There is a typo here, sorry for that. He's the first of 30 in his first month of his 51st year. So, elapsed is, if we calculate again with Manvantara, with Chatur Yuga, you find it out, it is 1.97 billion years have been passed. So, we can now find out which cycle we are and which ascending descending cycle we are in which Brahma, we are in which Manvantara. So you can find out everything beautifully in this way. So the ancient Vedic cosmic has given a chance to look at the things when the Big Bang would have occurred, where there is a black hole. Yeah. Now, that comes after Vedanta, by the way. Yeah. That interpretation comes at Vedanta. You can compare the calendar, and there are a lot of books on this, about the Vedic cosmology related to Big Bang, Vedic cosmology related to black hole, Vedic ecology related to whatever the scientific phenomena which is happening in creation and destruction. All those theory which we can have kind of a correspondent, and that subject is of its own. And remember that in Vedic mathematics, this is written. Please note that. And that is why Vedic mathematics, when they multiply a huge number, they don't take much time, because they have mastered this kind of numbers, not only in millions, billions, and trillions and septillions, but also down below in meter, micrometer, and then written at microseconds. So they have gone from micro to septo. So you see that the scale in which they have gone ahead. Anyway, so current Mahakalpa will last for 311.04 trillion years. What is elapsed? 18,000 first Kalpa is gone, plus 18,000 Kalpa and 18,000 Pralaya is lost. So 155.52 trillion years, which has come now into the calculations. Now, the beauty of it is that I don't know how many of you people, have been, you know, I don't want to, bring a caste or something like that here. I being brought up in a very orthodox family, then there is a sacred ceremony which will happen, any function which will happen, or anything which will happen. They will, when they start the mantra, what they do is called Sankalpa. What is Sankalpa? Sankalpa is making a decision, or you can call as a resolution when you do something. When you do or puja, or when you recite something which is sacred with a sacred thread which is in around our shoulders, which we keep it crossed, sacred thread. Even during the time when you do a sankalpa, we keep right hand up, left hand down, and then we make a sankalpa. That is a resolution, which is an invocation also. What they say is that Mamopartha Samasta Durdikshetvara Sri Parameshwara Priyatartam. If it is a Shaivite, if it is a Vaishnavite, they will call Sri Narayana Priyatartam. That's only a change. Then comes who are you? Okay, who they are, who are you? Sri Mahavishnu Raganya Pravartamanyasa Adya Brahmanaha Dviteya Parahe Shvetavaraha Kalpe. Now we saw about the Kalpe, Kalpa. Now we are in Shvetavaraha Kalpe. So when you make an invocation of this Vedic, this one, they say that in this space of Shvetavaraha Kalpe, Vishwastra Manvantare Kali Yuge, what is the part? Pradama Pade, first padam. Jambu Dvipe. Now, what is Jambu Dvipe? Dweep means island. You know this Milky Way. Milky Way is in a galaxy which is in the galactic island. Remember that. We are an island means not a Bharata Varshe, Bharata Khande will come. I am in Bharata Varshe, I am in Bharata Khande will come next. But Jwambu Dvipe is that cosmo island I belong, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Khande, and where I am living, Mero Dakshina Digbhage. That means I am in the southern tip of that Milky Way. How come? I am sometimes when I listen to that, goose really for me, goosebumps comes to that. They have seen the Milky Way by visiting that. Then you have Samasta Dava, Brahmana, Haridasau, Sannidau, Asmin, that it goes on. And then it comes about Uttraine. Uttraine means, you know that. You have two solstices, solar and winter solstice. And on the north, Uttraine, that comes from January 14th to July 30th. And Dakshinaine. Dakshinaine comes in July 14th, January 13th. So that period. Then Mase. Then if it is always remember Shukla, that is first day, Amavasya is considered as the first day. Or Krishna, one day is a Purnima. Yeah. So that Pakshe, Subhaditau, dash, Shubhavasya, that Vishay, that your name, and mine. Now look at it. They went to, I am invocating some prayer. Where am I? With respect to space, where that is what relativity comes into. With respect to the space and time, where am I? Which kalpa? And where am I in which? In the tip of this universe? And where am I in that continent? And where am I in that desh, the space time? And who am I? That's a big question mark, of course. Who am I if I can pass it? And then you are literally you have come out of a great liberation from your ego. But I am saying my name, which is a Sharma, and where I am and everything, and where my family belongs, and then we give an invocation prayer to the this one. That kind of a space and time we talk about. When you take cosmic space and time, you cannot forget about the cosmic
So,
dance of
sir, I have a
Nataraj.
small question. Can I ask you?
Yes, correct. Go ahead,
Actually,
sir.
sorry for the interruption. It's a wonderful comparison when you are giving this Sankalpa mantram to
Yeah,
the Brahma's time and other stuffs.
yeah,
What I just want to ask, what is that meaning for Ashtavim Sarita may we use there, na?
yeah. So some of the things even I have to go through it. I will come back to you when you have Asmin Vartama. Like a lot of the things
Yeah,
are there,
Jambudvipe,
and some of the
Bharatavarshe,
things we don't
Bharadakante,
do.
Meroho, Dakshine, Parshve,
Yeah,
like that you have said something, na?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
exactly.
Sankalpa
I will
mantram.
try
Of
to
course, it's a
find out,
Sankalpa
sir.
mantram, right?
Yeah, full Sankalpa Mantram. I will try to find out, and then I will send it to you completely.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Please, I just want to know that Ashtavim Saridame. After that, we comes to Kali Yuge Pratama Pade, like that.
Yeah, exactly. We will. I'll try to find out that. See, up to Manvantare and everything is there. Pratava
Yeah,
Mansya,
it's
Adya
everything is good.
Brahmaha.
Everything is good. I got a proper clarity here. Bharadavarshe, Bharadakante, Meroho, Dakshine Parshve, Dvitiya Varakte, Sveda Varahakalpe. Everything is fine. But what is that Ashtavim Saditame? If we'll
That
say
much
like
I'll
that.
try to find it out, and I will come back to you, sir. Please, yeah.
Yes,
The
sure,
complete,
sir.
the Sankalpa, I will try to come out with it. Okay.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for your kind questions. If any questions, you please interrupt, and if whatever I know, I will try to answer. And whatever I don't know, I will try to go back, and then I will try to get an answer. Okay. So, in the next 15 minutes, I would like to talk about this cosmic dance of Nataraja. So, when I called a Pralaya, destruction, then Nataraja comes into the picture. Nataraja is a sacred, you could see that in our literature and even in the Western literature, they will never forget to mention this particular sculpture of this particular dance of Nataraja, because that signifies the cosmos, and it signifies the birth of this cosmos and destruction of the cosmos, and where we are. And it that particular, it is like a symbol, but it is in a dance form, it is being inscribed. And one of the famous temple is in Chidambaram, Tiruchitrambalam, Chidambaram, where Nataraja dance is being explained in that sculpture, and some of the things are embedded in the sculpture. And when they do Deeparadana, that with the nowadays, with now the camphor is not allowed inside the temple. Now they give a like a lamp when they do a Deeparadana. On the back side, you can see some of the cosmic scriptures, some of the cosmic representation, and that is what they called as Chidambara Ragasya, secrets of Chidambara. But let us today will understand what is the cosmic dance of Natarajan. Okay, whether it is a bacteria or whatever your microorganism or a cosmos or a human, one fundamental thing is that it goes under construction and destruction. So it's a constructual theory. It goes through the creation, you go through the destruction, or I will not call destruction, pralaya, which is dissolved. Okay. One thing is, dance is nothing but a construction of Nataraja dance is a construction of cosmos, and that is what called as cosmos dance. It may look at the random, yeah, but there is a synchronization in these scriptures, in this sculpture, I mean. So when we say a dance, always remember it is a creation first. Then the creator became a dancer. So Shiva is a dancer. So it's called Nataraja. Nata, Nadanam. Raja is a king. He's a king of dance. Now, if you see very carefully of the Nataraja, there are a lot of parts in this Nataraja statue. Yeah. So here I have shown the 11 parts. Let us go into detail one by one. It signifies the dance of cosmos. It signifies the birth of space and time in cosmos life cycle. Yeah. It gives, what is that? what is it, and how it has to be interpreted. So we will go, and then we will, each screen we will visualize. First thing you can find it is that there is a fiery ring. Yeah. The fiery ring surrounding the Shiva, which we called as Prabha Mandala. Unfortunately, when I converted into the PDF, what I found out is that that square has some problems. So I will correct it and I will send it to you correctly. There are also some typos. I will correct it and I will send it to you. Now, what is it is that it represents the universe with all its illusion, suffering, and pain. Now, one of the problem in interpretation of one language to the other, in Sanskrit, when you call something as Maya, illusion is not the word, but the closest word is illusion, because illusion has a lot of meaning itself. So illusion, you have to take it like this: what it is not. What it is not is, if you understand, then you know what is Maya. That is illusion. Okay. So outer edge of the fire, inner edge of the fire, if you see, there are water, which represent water, and there are many levels, that is at different levels of oceans. So in many Nataraja statues, if you see that there is a multiple levels of fire and water. Some of the, if you go to the Trishitrambalam dance, that is Chidambaram, you can see the different levels on the outer ring. Yeah. Then comes like a flowing around the nesting in Shiva's dreadlocks. This signifies what it signifies. According to the myth, the river Ganges has flown from Nataraja's hair from the heaven. Because at that time there was a drought, you have a creation and destruction. And when needed on the earth, Shiva, they worshipped Shiva, and then Shiva brought that water from the heaven, which is needed on the earth. But when it falls from the heaven, it will be, earth cannot withstand. That was the mythological story, or you can take it anyway. That kind of a force that it cannot withstand. So he has streamlined that flow. That's a streamlined flow, which we called which was the turbulent flow, was streamlined flow by using some kind of a, if you are if you have learned the fluid dynamics or something, to convert the turbulent into streamlined flow, they use what he called as a streamline kind of a thing. And hair became Shiva's hair became like a stream, made a turbulent flow into streamline and fall into which entangled into the hair and then fell into the earth. That is the first cosmos which he has talked about. And there is a crescent moon. Yeah. The crescent moon in this matter helps. This keeps Kama, the god of nighty love, alive. Though the waxing and the waning of the moon, Shiva creates a difference there in that the sculpture, which just says that moon is also going through a creation and a kind of a destruction. Maybe it's an illusion. Yeah. From earth, you see a moon under different phases, but when you go and see on the top of that, it will always be full. It's like a rainbow. When you see from the earth, you have, due to the surface curvature, you see it like a bow, rainbow. But when you go to the up of the plane, it's circle. So it is like a relative. So same thing like that. The crescent moon is represented at different phases. Yeah. And there is a snake. What is the meaning? Snake symbolize the power that he has we know very well that snake is a deadly creature. Yeah. And snakes are also used to symbolize in Hindu dogma of reincarnation. Yeah. You go through the discussion and then you are coming back in a different body as a reincarnation. So in snakes, if you see that most of the time the skin gets shredded. That means what? Our body is like a cloth. It's a symbolic, and when it shreds everything, it merges with souls, or transmigration. If you are not able to mix with soul, and if you have some kind of frequency differentiation, you are not embedded into the oceans of this holy, what is called the soul, but you come as another birth, one body to another. That signifies here. Yeah. In Hindu mythology, how the snake has come is that when Asuras were performing puja to which was threatening to, even to the Shiva, then Shiva appeared and this dance was done, is a cosmic dance where the Asuras couldn't tolerate and they started throwing snakes and the snakes got coiled around the neck and they couldn't do anything. That yaga couldn't perform, and that cosmic dance, the complete pralaya happened, and the devas got a life out of that because of asuras were trying to destroy Deva. That was the mythological story behind it. But anyway, I am telling about only the what is the meaning here. There is in the back right hand of a Shiva that holds an hourglass with the drum which is called damru. That will give dung tuck dung tuck. It's like a sand clock, yeah. It gives times. So when he creates the universe, recreates the universe, there is a time. And there is also Abhinava Mudra, which is there, which is not that you don't fear. The Abhinava Mudra on the finger, if you see that, even in today, I think in Delhi airport, this Abhinava Mudra is being, casted in a different in a mudra style, dancing mudra, Bharatanatyam style, which you can see that, which is the gesture holding the palm and outward fingers pointing up. This is fear not, I am there. Yeah. And then you have Agni, the left hand, where you have a vessel in this hand. The flames represent destructive energy with which Natara dances at the edge of at the end of each cosmic age, so that it is cleansing, or all the sins are removed, all your illusions are removed. All the illusions mean Maya is removed. That means what I am not. Why am I? Who I am not. This is a little bit of philosophical concept which talks in Advaitic Veda about that. The front left hand is across the chest, if you see that. Yeah. Now, here is the point. I think I will be, finishing it within 2 to 3 minutes. If I take a little bit 2 to 3 minutes extra, please bear in mind because I want to finish it off with this. The front left hand is across the chest. The Gahastha, which is elephant trunk post. The elephant trunk like post with wrist limp and the fingers pointing downwards where the foot is up. Now, foot is up, we'll see that very carefully next. There is an upliftment of the foot and the fingers which is pointing downwards. Now, if you see in this Nataraja posture, the left is up. Beauty in this, when it goes through the other coronation, the right will be up and the left will be down. Very few Nataraja posture which has, where the left foot will be down and the right will be up. And one is in Meenakshi Amman temple in Madurai. In Meenakshi Amman temple in Madurai, if you see the left foot will be down and the right will be up in the Shokkanadar Sannadhi, that is Swami Sannadhi, this Nataraja statue will be there. The meaning is that after one step of Pralayana, creation happens. Again the Pralaya starts so that he changes the steps and this. There is also a story behind it. One of the Nayanar says that you are standing, your right leg will be really paining because you are standing on the left leg. And then, Shiva told her, okay, I will keep my left leg down and right leg up. This was a story. I don't know whether it's true or not, but Nayanmar, one of the Nayanmar literature, it is written there in Madurai. But it is nothing but one creation, destruction, and another creation and destruction. So you should not think that only the left foot is up. In some of the carvings, there is also an other way around. Now the uplifted foot, you have to see that it gives eternal bliss to those who approaches. Then the other foot is firmly on the dwarf. That's what I told. When he danced on that, the complete, he was dwarfed. The asuras were dwarfed by this ignorance. That's symbolically, it gives the ignorance. Now, it was not only the me which has interpreted like this. There is a wonderful series of Cosmos which was telecasted even in Doordarshan sometime back in 70s and 80s. I remember still in 80s they have twice a telecasted, and I have the complete version of that 18 version of this Carl Sagan's Cosmos. So there is a wonderful book on that also, Carl Sagan's Cosmos. And one of the chapter he mentions about the cosmic creation and destruction, and he's explained the complete Nataraja's postures in detail. But finally, what is there? The ignorance, which is the Nataraja dances above the body of the demon, the Asura, which is called an Apasmara. Oh, he killed. And that is why he was called as a Natesha. With the dance, he killed. Apasmara was the dark demon, which represents the ignorance of teaching that is having opposite. For example, good and evil, something like that. So everything, there is an equal and opposite. There is a good, there is an evil. Which where there's a truth, there is a false. So he brought the truth by, from bringing out the ignorance of the false. What do you think that is a truth? It's not truth. That is called as, you called as Aham Brahmaswami. They called us. That comes from the cleansing inside. The God is within you. So I summarize today's lecture. I don't know how far it is interesting to you, but one thing I will tell is that Hindu unit of time has ages back that describes from microsecond or nanoseconds to trillions of years, including cycle of cosmic time that repeat again and again. That is called as Hindu cosmology. And always they say that time, Kala, is eternal. You and me are passerby. When you see a space, you are nothing. In front of the earth, you are nothing. In front of the earth is nothing. In front of the big cosmos in the Milky Way, in front of a big galaxy, Milky Way is nothing. In big cosmos, if we go on to the trillion, or even septillion trillion years, not even you are a proton, or not even you are an electron. It is 1,100 and something, like 10 to the power of minus something, minus trillion. You can see a human. That means we are nothing even to the bacteria in front of the big cosmos of big pralaya in the time space domain. So the various fragments of time and domain which are told in Vedas have really kindled, and I am very thankful to introduction of this topic by one of my teacher in my school when I was learning in 8th standard, and he brought the first time when he was talking about the relativity. He started off with this Brahma calendar. At that time I was a little bit atheistic philosopher, so I didn't bother to collect that paper. But later it took me a lot of time in understanding the time scale, and I am very thankful to all of you in listening this lecture. I don't know how far it is interesting, and I worship God. Hari Om Tat Sat, and I am leaving this forum open for questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You can.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, you may stop sharing and then you go for questions if you want to. Wonderful talk. I think.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Sham?
Yes. Can you stop sharing, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you stop sharing?
Hello. Yeah, I'm Sugant Kannan. I'm actually calling in from Miami, USA.
Any questions? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I don't think so. He's hearing.
Sir,
Can
Ashok sir, please listen. There are questions from
He can't hear. He cannot hear. That's the problem. So his mic is not on.
Can you send him a
I mean,
message?
his speaker I am talking about. His speaker is not on. He is not increased the volume or something is happening. So maybe you can call him. I'll call him.
yeah, Dr. Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. We can hear. Only the problem is speakers
Ashok
are
sir.
not. His speakers are not. No, his speakers are not on. We don't have to Shout, let's call him, directly.
Yeah, yeah, please call Shan.
Yes, yes.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Ashok sir, could you listen me? Ashok sir, could you please
I
listen
have
me?
increased my volume. Are you able to hear?
Yeah, we could able to hear you, but are you able to hear us? Did you hear me?
I'm not able to hear you. That's the whole issue now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I'm extremely sorry for that, Sham. I think, okay. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Definitely. I will push somebody has asked for the WhatsApp number. I will type the message here. And it's very sad that, at least you could hear me. That much is, I'm very happy. I
We
don't know
can
what's happening with my mic. I have to check it up because
I can
today
hear
it's
you.
giving a
Sir,
lot
can
of
you hear
problem.
me?
why don't we text him the questions and he can
Yeah.
Yeah,
respond?
that's what I told.
And
That's what I
I'm
told.
extremely sorry for that.
Okay, so you can
I'm
check.
extremely sorry. My
I'll have,
mic has a problem. I'm not able to hear properly.
okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
His volume button is on only, he says, but he increased the volume button and maybe it's off probably. And if you increase it, is automatically on
We'll
probably.
try with the
Uh, may use the headphone. Yes, he's using the headphone and all.
my volume button is on, but somehow I'm not able to see
Ask
that.
him
I will
to
try
test
with
his, ask him to test his
connecting
speaker, sir.
the
Just go to audio settings
headphone
and
if it is possible, because
No,
with
no, what
headphone I
we
had a
can,
problem.
let
So that
us
is
do
why I was
this.
not
If
able
you have
to.
questions, we'll ask. You can type and he will answer. Let's do that. So if you have questions, you can chat and he will answer.
Yeah, I wanted to say that the the earlier question about Ashtavimsati Dame. So what it is it comes Vaivashvada Manvantare, Ashtavimsati Dame, then Kali Yuga. So what it is it's the saying that the current Kali Yuga is the 24th Maha Yuga in the Vaivashvada Manvantara. So that's what Ashtavimsati Dame means.
okay. So yeah, got it. Ashtabhimsatitame Kali Yuge. And then Pratame Pade, everything is there. I got.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah, प्रथमे पादे जम्बूद्वीपे भारतवर्षे भरतकण्ठे मेरोः दक्षिणे पार्श्वे द्वितीयवराक्ते स्वेदवराहकल्पे. Yeah, everything is there.
Okay, so now I have a, so he can't talk. Okay, let's see if you want ask any questions.
I think he can chat. He can give the answers on the chat.
You tried to chat, I guess. I asked him to talk, he forgets it. Huh. hear us? You can hear us? Oh, you can hear us, then you can talk, sir. No. If you can't hear or you can hear. Now the problem is he's talking. He's hearing us. He's having problem talking to us. Okay, so only one thing operates at one time. I think time and space. Only one thing. You are becoming Advaita Jnani, I think. So
It's a
let's.
really good thought, Space and time, one is working, one is not working.
Sir, Advaita philosophy, right?
Yeah,
Ashok sir, I'm just
Advaita Vedanta.
calling to Ashok sir. I think he has some problem in the audio settings.
Yeah, you
If
can.
he, yeah, sir, please attend my call. Yeah, sir, this is Kiran here. Sir, can you please go to the audio settings near to the mic? Like, can you see the mic button in the Zoom? Yeah, just click that. Click to audio settings. Just go to audio settings. There is option called test mic, right? Yeah, please test your mic first. Check some hello or something, whatever it is, like some 1, 2, 3 or something.
Space and time.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's asking to detect your microphone. So the thing is, you just want to go there, like mute button is there, right?
Right. Whether he selected the right microphone.
Yeah, so just go
See,
to there.
drop down,
Same as
no?
system, you can see the mic settings. Select a speaker, select a microphone, right?
Choose the one you're having in your headphone. Choose that.
Oh, are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, there is some problem here. Okay, sorry for that. You can go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, so let me put this question this way.
Yeah.
So see, all these things were happened. If somebody found this, right? Let it be somebody found this.
Yes.
Was this finding? Is that finding real, or it is the finding? It is happening only in the mind, whatever it is, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, if this is in the because interpretations, everything is only you. Whether the person you have found this or this is an existence. See, if you don't find it, there's no existence, right?
Yes.
So the mind is ultimately, so the same thing comes finally, it comes to Advaita Vedanta.
Correct.
Right. If you don't think this doesn't exist. For today also, people who don't know, they don't know. For them, this is the universe. The people
Correct.
who believed that there was the earth was flat at one time, for them the truth earth was flat, they died. They found that the same truth, whole life they had stories. They did not take a bath in the river because the river will go and fall in the universe, the water. So they stayed there, and the whole life they lived that way, and that was the truth for them, right?
Okay.
Suppose if you don't know this truth, right?
Yes.
So that is the same way, like hitting, like say Ramana Maharishi hit, right?
Correct.
Hit the space time right away, right?
Yes.
Then all these theories will not make sense. I said.
Okay. Yes,
So,
correct.
but there is an interest. Of course, there is an interest. Instead of talking something else, this is the most interesting thing, right? So so in terms of the, like in terms of when you talk about this Shiva, the different Brahmas, or the Kalpa, all these things that we are talking about, are we really talking about, like when you are talking about this, do they in the Hindu philosophy they talk about this kind of a human kind of thing exist, but do they really talk about a human existence, or all these things are just concepts?
Okay. I would not say concept, or I would not say a human exists or something like that. What they found by the deep meditation, Yeah. What they found out is that's what they found out. Even Ramana Maharishi or even in Advaitic way, what they found out is that the entire, the cosmos is, you are like, you are in this complete, like an ocean of cosmic ocean. Yeah. But what we happen is that we are not able to realize that cosmic ocean. Yeah. Now, how broad is this cosmic ocean? How this much is a cosmic ocean? With deep kind of a meditating, there they found out. You can call as a liberation or something like that. When they come out of the body, then you start your interpretation of the subject and object vanishes. This is the first thing you have to find it out. There is nothing called a subject and the object. In Tamil, we call it as adu, idu, edu. Yeah. Nan, ni, something like that. You, me, everything vanishes. Okay. Now, these things they found out after deep meditation. Yeah. This is what my interpretation I would talk. This they are thinking that this is because of our interpretation, which because of that and this, that differentiation. Yeah. So in that mind, they told something that is there and that is what it is. So that is why I started with my lecture. I don't want to interpret. What it is, I have told. Understand, Ms. Sham, what I'm telling?
But
Yeah.
still, but still it is an interpretation only.
It's a kind of an interpretation. Yeah. But I'm saying that it is. Okay. Now,
Yes, yes.
now the people I'll tell you one thing. There's a book, if you can read a book of one Mr. Subhash Kak. Have you read anybody read that book of Subhash Kak?
Yeah, it's a close friend of mine, Shubhas Kak.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There are
Can you
some
put it in the chat?
He's in the chat?
No, he's not here, not here. I can
He is
invite.
not in the chat.
Yeah, you can
We
invite.
can
him next week. Yeah.
invite in the chat. So there are about 4 or 5 books, okay, where he has interpreted the Rig Vedic and then cosmic, what is that and what is this, and then what is the relation between them. Yeah. That is one way of interpretation. Yeah. And there is another person called Michael Wutzel, and I pronounce in a German way, Michael Wutzel, because I mean Michael Wutzel or something you pronounce. And there was a counter argument of the Dr. Subhash, Professor Subhash Kaks. And then he wrote another kind of a list of interpretation where, literally Hindu, this one is that. So it is a cross kind of an interpretation here. So one gives like this is that, and another guy says, no, this is that. Okay. So there will be a difference in opinion between these two if you go and see the literature. Yeah. This I have done it sometime 5 years back or 6 years back. I have all those things. But
Right.
but now the interpretations are different. So what is right, what is wrong? We don't know. Yeah. We don't know. Because the whole thing, that is what I told. What it is written. Yeah. That I am done.
Okay.
It is us to see which one to correctly to interpret, whether it's really a Big Bang. Now we have to go to the physicist and we have to see, solve the, space-time equation, relativity theory of whatever the Penrose book, which we talk about, or Stephen Hawking's book, which we talk about it. In fact, Penrose has given a detailed mathematical analysis of the space-time and then what is the Big Bang, what would be the timeline and everything with all the data collected on all the theory, which is the, you have the complete, like it's a multi-tensor. It's a multi-tensor, dimension. And with a supercomputer, he has come out with something, okay, with physical modeling and everything. Probably, we may have to correlate with it, probably, which we have to do that kind of a work in the research analysis.
Right.
That's what my feeling is that, yeah. This is my answer to your question.
Yeah, see, the thing is that, because you're saying this is the most ancient literature, then why would we differentiate whether it is Buddhism or Jainism or Islamic or Christian or the modern science? All are derived from one source that was ancient, right? And this source, it we call it Hinduism or something, but it was called at one time at certain thing, like certain language or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think this is a very universal thing, and I think this belongs to the world, because this is the universal knowledge, And
Okay.
I think that the other things that we isolate, other religion or other traditions, I think they are all part of like, little bit of pieces, like how it went into different gurus, they took at different times and different places, I think they
Yes.
all belong to this own same tradition at one point of time, I think.
Correct.
And this universal thing should be, I think, in even should be understood by people as it is, as you said. That's the way I
Yeah.
think. We should understand. And this is wonderful because you brought many aspects, and we can do some things like, because the all the units today, unit is a big problem. We had relative units those days, all time, space, everything. There is a correlation between units. Now
Yeah.
the units are very, very different. In those days, the space, like we give angula is a unit, right?
Yes.
Or
Correct.
a length.
Correct.
So now, because it is relative, angula is a relative. Person to person, it varies, right?
Correct.
Time and space is a variation. It's a relative unit. And
Correct.
today we are standardizing unit, time, thing and all. So we can give a better science and technology for the whole world when this is like really developed well. I think there are
Yeah.
things that we need to do research. Of course, anybody can interpret as we go deeper into consciousness. We can also get
Okay.
those ideas. And I think there should be like a complete, even bits and pieces of thing can be put together, and then we have to link with the modern things. Even modern things could be wrong, right? Modern
Yes.
things could be wrong,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
whatever it is, we have to prove that whether it is right or wrong, because modern thing is a limitation of space and time. They have like limitation in
Yes. Yes.
space, right? We have other
Yes.
dimensions
Yes.
of space. I think
Yeah.
that is the way to go, I think. And this is like very interesting because you're coming from the top down model, or you can go down, bottom up also, coming from but this top down model is also a really good model, how you calculate the time from yugas
Yeah.
to time. I think this is a very interesting. Yes, Dasta, go ahead, please. There's a question.
Thank you for this. It was very interesting. I probably have to watch this video many times to understand some of the things you were talking about. But you mentioned that we're in Kali Yugi time. Is that what you
Yeah.
said right now? And
Yeah.
so I've heard right now, like we're transitioning through that. And where are we heading? And and for humanity, like, is that an ascending to more being more divine and maybe how we used to be?
Okay. So here is the point. If you see the Yuga, Satya Yuga is gold. Yeah. And next is silver. Next is bronze. And Kali Yuga is, they are symbolized with iron. Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is Iron Age. Okay. In Kali Yuga, according to the literature, all the evils is being trying to overpower the Satya. That's the truth. Okay. Some feel that, if something happens, oh, this is a Kali Yuga period. That is, it's yet, some bad thing happened. It's a Kali Yuga period, they say that. Okay. That's the interpretation again. Okay. But what it says is Vedic philosophy is this, that somewhere there is a neutral point it will reach. Yeah. If you see, even for the small, bees, you look at a beehive in bee. Yeah. It looks like a chaotic. Yeah. And after some time, when you see the beehive shape of the beehive, the way in which it is derived, the shape of the beehive is derived. If you see that, the shape of the beehive will be a very, very kind of a, from the top, it will be big, and then it will come down and come and tapers down and tapers down. And it follows the gravity and the law, it follows in such a way that when the wind blows, you have some kind of an aerodynamic effect in the beehive. Yeah.
It's
So
almost
when
like
you see
it's
that,
almost like the driving in India.
Okay, even though it is chaotic, it's order out of chaotic. It's if you are finding out this called as the Elio Progogine book, which is called as Order Out of Chaos. He's a Nobel Prize winner, Elio Progogine of chemistry. If you read that book, it's very clearly written that. Okay. Now, the more and more it becomes, there is a point which a neutral point starts. Okay, the neutrality starts. At that point, the next yuga starts, which is the gold. Now the iron will end after some time, and then your gold will turn. Now the humanity which you are thinking is infinitesimal. Infinity means infinitesimal to a level of whatever the cosmos exists. Yeah. Now we say that, oh, this cosmos and this will kill us or something. No, we are inside. We are thinking it's again the subject and object is being differentiated. If something like, you are inside the cosmos and you go into the cosmos and then you get dissolved into this cosmos, then the next yuga starts. Yeah. That's it. It's a neutral point. It's a flash point. Like black hole where nothing can escape, not even a light can escape. That point it goes where the density is becoming an infinity. Yeah. Where light itself cannot escape with the general theory of relativity. That means it is completely absorbed. It's completely get trapped. And that is how the cosmic works. That is how the cosmic works. It go into a point of neutrality and what is called as, it's like a singularity theory. They call in calling, the relativity, the singularity theory of black hole. They call the same thing. It goes into that and that's it's finished. Yeah. And the Stephen Hawking theory of the dead will come alive then they found out the entropy, the decreasing entropy will start or what? No. That is why been proven by these people. No. In that, if it is gone, it's gone. That singularity exists, that is gone, finished. It neutralizes completely, and then the next yuga starts. You have to think like that.
Okay.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Thank you very much for this question.
Raise your hands. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say a couple of things. So, yeah, you mentioned Professor Michael Witzel. I actually know him very well. He recently retired from Harvard University. Bit of a controversial figure. And then about Chidambaram, actually the temple itself is a representation of the human body. So and I've been to Chidambaram, I've seen all the Argala Puja. So to enter the, to enter the shrine, you cannot go straight. Usually most
Correct.
Shiva coils, you go straight, but this one you only
Correct.
enter from the right and the left,
Right.
like the heart.
Correct. Correct.
And then on the roof, because it's gold sheet, gold plated roof, there are 21,600 gold sheets, and that's roughly the number of breaths that humans take in a particular day.
Yes.
And then when those steps you climb to get, from the left and the right, there are 5 steps because, Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. So like that, it's a very, lot of detail and lot of thought went into the construction and building of that temple.
Not only Chidambaram, it's called Ahamaka Sastra, we call us. Okay?
Yeah, Agama
In
Sastra.
Ahamaka Sastra, correct. In Ahamaka Sastra, you have to follow certain rules of grammar when building the temple. Yeah, you cannot build, at that time, not now. Nowadays, I think that is also diluted, maybe
Right.
it's for some other purpose or something. Now it's for, in order to bring all the people good now. They are now, they have diluted that philosophy. But in Akamaka Sastra, even for idol, yeah, from the start to the end, even in Meenakshi Amman temple, if you see, there is a rule in which they followed, the Pandyas followed. Similarly, Chera Choda Pandya followed certain kinds of Ahamaka Sastra rule, which was established by even before the Pythagorean geometry. Pythagorean geometry existed, even there the Euclid geometry existed. So the old temples, if you see that, they followed that in a big way. So Chidambaram is one of that. So that Ahamaka Sastra may be a little bit different from one temple to the other about philosophy, different philosophy, but they follow a basic Ahamaka Sastra in building the temple. In some of the temple, even some of the people follow, like Sringeri Mutt, follow certain kind of Ahamaka Sastra when they are funding for a certain kind of a building. They go deep into that literature.
Right.
Thanks
And
for your
actually,
question, sir.
and actually, on the point of Pythagoras, everybody says Pythagoras theorem, but it was actually discovered by one rishi called Bodhayana, because the
Correct.
Pythagoras theorem is
Correct.
mentioned in the Bodhayana Sutra.
Correct. That is called Bodhayanic Sutras. If I
Right,
have a book
Bodhayana,
on that.
and then his Shishya's Avastamba Sutra.
Avastamba Sutra. Avastamba Sutra, they call us. Okay.
See, today we have a problem here, So I was giving a talk about like ancient science. This came from this, but everybody have their claim across the world that their tradition is old. Okay, this is a claim from say like Jewish
Yeah.
claim. You can see African claim, right? So they
Yeah.
have like these different kind of theories. Do you think
Yeah.
that maybe at one point we were just one, and these things appeared like that way? People all
Exactly.
root
Yes.
towards these things because ancient everything was one, and therefore they think
Correct.
that they come from a different tradition or culture. I think
Yes.
there is no need for this kind of an isolation. I think there is no requirement. We need to even bring it in a broader way instead of even saying it is Hinduism or something. I think this is like a universal knowledge, and
Correct.
this belongs to the world, the whole universe, and
Correct.
that is very important to make other people understand. They should not feel that okay, because everybody
Yeah.
belongs to a tradition, is not a separate thing, and we are not superior in a way. There is the human race, and
Yeah.
the whole human race is we're not even superior than any other beings also. All right,
Exactly.
so the
Exactly.
beings also have like their time and space,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I think this is a good start to bring our ancient knowledge as it is. As you said, I'm not making interpretations but bringing it as it is. But then also we have to bring many experts, and then wherever there is a gap we need to be open for many interpretations.
Yeah.
And we take some statistics and then we come up with some kind of a conclusion, a new conclusion for the developing the new science and technology. This is ancient only,
Okay.
but we need
Okay.
a way to make the other people understand, because see, all these words are ancient
Yeah.
words, and there is no way we can convert that into a modern word because there is a word needed,
Yeah.
right? Some of
Okay.
the
Okay.
words are new
Okay.
dimensions that you don't even need you cannot have another word for it, because a
Correct.
word
Correct.
has a
Correct.
meaning. It's very cultural aspect, so it's going to
Correct.
be a tough thing to make people understand in the beginning, I think. But there is things that we can give without making it much complicated, and then we can bring all the people inside to work
Correct.
together, I think.
Correct.
No?
Correct. 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 Correct.
That'll be a wonderful start. I think this is
Okay.
like a good thing to begin with. So
Yeah.
any questions from any others, like Chandranji is from North Carolina? Is it Chandran from
Yeah. I think Raleigh. It is written Raleigh.
yeah.
I have a question.
Mm.
So, Sir explained about all the Kala chakras and the symbols representing the behind of Nadracha, right? So can
Yeah.
you please explain why that Apasmaran is there actually in the feet of what it is representing? Like,
It is the destruction, or it is the ignorance which is being destroyed from your mind. Yeah. If you see that
Or
ignorance, go ahead.
no, I didn't ask anything. I just, I think, Sharavana Prakash, sir.
Okay. It is the ignorance which is being destroyed as a symbolic thing. Okay. They can create a story, and then usually if you see that it's a symbolic representation, your ignorance is being killed here. What is the ignorance? Now, there are many ways of representing. Again, interpretation, I will go into the interpretation. Ignorance is like when there used to be an example about the rope and the snake. Yeah. When you at the night, you see a rope, when you are walking on the street, which is pitch dark, and a very small light is there, and it is falling on the rope and it is being threaded so much, it is like a snake, you really get shocked first. Yeah. There is a snake. Okay. And then when you go close that, you find it is a rope. This is Maya. Okay. This is the ignorance. What was the ignorance? First, there was a thought about in your mind, the snake. Okay. The thought is snake. Yeah. But when you go down, you found out it is a rope. This is the best example given in Advaita. Yeah. So immediately you saw that, okay, what a ignorant time. So you are cleansing this ignorance by a kind of questioning yourself whether it's a snake or a rope, and then you come there and then you find out it's a rope. Rope is the real thing. Snake is the mind which is thinking, okay, this is a snake. But that is not that you think for a second. For a second, it is a true for you because you have seen like a snake. And it becomes a rope. And once it is a rope, it is a rope. Yeah. It becomes a rope in your mind, and then you get cooled down, and then you say, oh, this is a rope. That is what an ignorance is all about. Your ignorance is what is world, is something like in a materialistic way, but in a spiritual sense, that's what I'm saying. When you go into that, your ignorance is killed. So in Vedic, hymns, if you say, hymns of Rudram or Chamakam or Purusha Shuktam, in one of the thing, they will say, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not. What is that? Because you think this is, but this is not. You think this is not. When you say this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not, then your ignorance is getting killed, and then you are one representing the cosmos. Simple example. You are sitting on a table. I am sitting here on the eastern part of the India. I don't feel I am in the eastern part of the India. I feel only myself. Yeah. It's a self. Yeah. But we are sitting on, I am sitting on piece of eastern part of India, and I am in India. India is in this earth, and earth is rotating how many kilometers per second? Do you feel that? Yeah. If it is reduced even by 1%, we are thrown out of the earth. We are revolving. We are revolving at speed, kilometer per second, revolving. Yeah. If you see that 24 hours per day for 36,000 kilometers, your radius, if you calculate the sphere radius, but you are not feeling that. But the reality is that it is rotating. Yeah. It is rotating, reality, but you are not able to feel. You have to come out of this, or somewhere you have to go out of your frame of reference. See, this is the theory of relativity, to find that this is rotating, right? So we are into the system, and then we have to come out to find out, and that is where the ignorance is there. You have to come out of that ignorance, and that is what the Shiva dance is all about. He is killing the ignorance and showing the reality, and then going into the destructive mode, and then you are mingling with the entire thing is mingled with the big cosmos. Again, this is my interpretation. Yeah. Again, I don't want to interpret, but you have made me to interpret. Sorry for that. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
interpret is the free will that we have. That
It's
is
a
the
free
natural,
license, I would
because
say.
I mean, somebody need to interpret in their, because every presentation is an interpretation only. See, there is nothing like it is your perspective only you can express. It's all a
Yes,
perspective
exactly.
only, right? Anything
Yeah.
should be a perspective. But anyways, we need this wonderful thing. I think we need to bring more scientists in this area. We have some wonderful scientists. We should number one, we should have like a bigger one-day conference on this, exclusively space-time conference, and bring modern, ancient, all different people, and then we can see like, okay, what do they understand about that, and we'll see, people who are interested. I'm not talking about like very modern things. It's a very boring thing. So I've been there in that boring thing, but we will things that are really interesting, that the people who have interest in the ancient science will bring those people, and then see how we can connect the dots, and this could be something like a bigger research for humanity.
Yes, exactly.
As a whole, because humanity has been so far narrowed down by what you call the Western perspective of science and technology, very narrowed down, and they're driven by that kind of ideas, and that notion should go out from people's mind. And this will be a opening thing when we bring more people and connect the dots, and then we'll have a complete theory from the beginning. And I think that will be something needed for the world, I think. I have developed something in space and time also. I am not given at this time, but at a later stage I'm going to because I want to connect those dots in space and time. For me, vibrations. Yes, Saravana. Yes,
Shan,
yes.
Actually, Kiran and Shugant Kannan and the other professor, everybody had a very interesting questions to Dr. Ashok, and it was inspiring answer from Dr. Ashok. Also, the presentation was very nice.
Right.
It was a really great question, but one small there is a small gap is missing. What I feel that is what we learn from this time and space and to the level 1, level 2, and level 3, or what we can give to this awareness to the student, because I wanted to know what we can focus. For example, are we try to see the cat in the box, or we want to take the cat out of the box?
So you're wanting to break down this, right? You want this breakdown, and what you learn
like
from
he want to break the Einstein theory, I guess.
It's a very delicate Sharavana, because what we for the level 1, level 2, it's going to be tough, I will tell you. The reason is that it's more of a research. And now in the physics lecture of space and time, you can have it in level 1. Even in the physics of second step of level 2, if you see that it's highly mathematical. Space and time, you need to have a complete brush up of tensors and matrices and not a simple linear algebra. It's a complicated linear algebra like a Penrose inverse, and a lot of things will come into the picture in space and time. So even for level 2, it's going to be very tough. Even I'm telling about the science, leave about the ancient science. So level 1, maybe awareness training we can give about the space and time. Awareness. What is space, what is time, what is the literature and everything. And even then it's going to be very tough, but you can still make it. So let's think a little bit about it. Let us think a little bit about it. And Shan
At
also
least they can learn something about our ancient traditional ways. So science behind the ancient way.
That is what we can do that. What is the science behind the ancient way?
Ancient way.
That is
Simply
where we should
they
start.
don't want to ignore, hey, this is an ancient thing, this is an ancient thing. No, don't want that. This is a very old ancient thing. Don't want to ignore like that. They can able to think something behind that. Okay, some science is behind the ancient thing. Okay, something science behind our ancestors, what they did. Something in that. We want to research in that. Based on that, we can able to create some more valuable scientist.
No, see,
exactly.
There is one area that can be developed well is the following. One of the thing is that the units. Unit is a very good area. See, if you break down unit, when it comes to human anatomy, ancient human anatomy about Nadi system and everything, it's a, as you said, it's like 10 power minus breakdown. I call it femtobiology just for fun, but it's much better than that, right?
I would say
no.
femtobiology.
Let me finish, Saravana. So what you can do basically is that you can break down, because there are, see, for example, in a Varma we give matras, and there is in Varma there is like angulas, all these are there. So if you bring down to that, like pressure units and length units, etc., to like applicable things that are like how much so that we can have an independent unit that is completely described. Number one. Number two, the other things like atomic structure and all these things are also defined, like diamond structure, different kind of structures in ancient science. So let us go a little deeper into what they thought about atoms in those days, their structure, the ancient way. It may not be when we say paramanu and anu. Let us see those dimensions, because I know there are dimensions for this, right? So if you bring all these together, we will have a complete cosmology theory. First thing, we need to brainstorm for a few days, bringing all these, continuously having some discussions and putting all this together into the, a write-up, and then we can come up with some kind of a, like a research or something that can be done further. I don't think so that you can right away do any cosmology run, and all computers cannot do
Actually,
things.
I just want to convey a small thing.
Yes.
I just want to convey a small thing. So for the Saravana sir's answer, the thing is, in the world we are using the Kepler's law in the rocket, right, to launch a rocket. So the great scientist Kepler, right, he written in his article that astrology is the fundamental for his invention. Whatever the law he is inventing, the Kepler's law, the astrology is the fundamental. So he said like that. So we can, by learning our ancient traditional methods, we can create more Keplers like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, that's, but we can start with something smaller, like where people can do research, like, break down into some things, and small parts can be, definitely we can do some research on those things, especially, a very
I
applicable.
think we have to take parallelly, Ishan, because we have to take parallelly. One thing is that the research topic, we should take it in a different, people with different thing. And the basic thing for the course 1 and course 2, we have to be separate.
It's like a theory field. Let us keep it as quantum mechanics kind of thing.
Correct.
So let us do all the theories, quantum theories, all the interpretations, and then research is a separate thing. Yes, definitely.
Yes, correct.
I think, yeah.
Correct. Only one thing is that I have a class at 9 o'clock. Okay. Sorry to say that I have to, at 9 o'clock, I have a class. Now it is 8:15. Okay.
Yeah,
So
time and space, you can cross the time.
that is if we cross the time, I will be in a soup, because I am here. I have to go and then do other things.
So within second you can do that. Okay, so good feedback. Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was
Thank
nice.
you. Thank you. Wonderful.
Okay, thank you very much for all of you for coming and then asking a lot of questions. Sorry that I was little. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.